Yo, happy Thursday, or as I like to say, Thursday. Welcome to another episode of Smart Assets. What's going on, Evan?
What's going on, Ivan? That intro gets me pumped up every time, dude. I swear, that's amazing.
I know, right? It keeps creeping up on it and gets you in the mood and what's about to happen. And let's go. We've got a great episode planned for you all. Thank you for joining us. Exciting to have you. My name is Ivan Dimov, CMO of the American Crypto Academy, and I'm joined by Evan.
I'm Evan Lamontagne. I am a blockchain analyst for Sarson Funds and a good friend of Ivan. We love to banter back and forth about NFTs and all the digital collectibles out there roaming the cryptoverse. Goodness.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think today we're gonna have some barter or whatever, however that word is. Shit, you know, it's English always will get you. Every day I can come up with so many words that, like, you say one thing and it means so many things, but it's another topic, another stream, and not our forte. Let's go. Those of you that don't know us, we host a show every week, Thursdays, on behalf of American Crypto Academy. Evan and I jumping into some personal opinions and love for everything that's digital assets and collectibles and blockchains. We dissect and deep dive into various different projects and analyze the crap out of them. And we provide updates from episode to episode. So you don't want to miss an episode. We're always going to add something in that we've talked about before. Exciting. We have some surprises for everyone tonight. Nothing majorly announced, but one of our projects we're going to dive in a lot deeper than expected. Looking forward to that. A similar note, everything we share is just our opinions. Don't take it serious. Don't put your life savings on it. It's not financial advice. We're just here to have some fun, share some alpha we've heard with being involved and dissecting the community. So by all means, and anything you want us to dive in deeper that you don't have the time for, share with us. We'd be more than happy to explore further.
Absolutely.
Reminder, every show we come up with a different strategy and way to have a giveaway, so stick till the end. You never know what happens in a show. Like, we like to improvise, so stick around.
And it's usually pretty easy, so don't think that we're going to be quizzing you. Just hang out and enjoy the time with us.
Yeah, we make it easy. I had someone in Discord ask me when the next giveaway. There's one going on every week. You just gotta watch the show.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, a little bit of some of the topics we'll cover today. We'll talk. I'm going to touch on some real life utilities or real life examples of NFTs, digital assets, and how they're applied with something we've done for many years. So we'll touch upon a little bit on Platinum Bay NFT, interesting project related to real estate. I'm going to do a very quick update on Trading of the Century only because I thought they had a unique update on the 7th of this month that is based on feedback from the community. We also have a special guest to appear very soon, very shortly. Just hang tight. Lieutenant Dan is a ex-lead developer for Activision. I remember, and I don't know, Lieutenant Dan's never corrected me on this, but I swear I've played a Lieutenant Dan within Call of Duty. One of the what do you call it? One of the campaigns, you get to play a character, and one of the characters is Lieutenant Dan. I haven't been corrected, so I still hold that as being true. That's where I know Lieutenant Dan. So when I heard Lieutenant Dan's building his own project, oh my God, like, enough said, take my money, sign me up. And so I'm really excited to share that Lieutenant Dan's going to be joining us here tonight very shortly. And with that, Evan, what are you going to tell us about tonight?
So I'm going to be talking about some interesting topics tonight. We're going to be touching a little bit on the Ordinal Bitcoin NFTs and how those work, what the significance of those could possibly be, as well as I want to talk about one of my personal absolute favorite projects, and it's been my profile picture for almost 6 months now, Liberty Square. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the Solana mobile announcement. They're making a big announcement tomorrow that they teased earlier in the week. So we're going to be kind of doing some just guesstimation work there and seeing kind of what we think that's going to be. I also have a small update for Rove World. They have something cool within their app I want to share with you guys that you can participate in for free. And we'll also be hearing from Ivan about the Love Club DAO. Ooh, that's gonna be. I'm excited about that. It's such a wholesome project that is, I think, gonna be just a fun way to share love within the Web3 space. Am I right, Ivan?
Absolutely, yeah. Not everything is about getting rich and making money. Sometimes we got to remind each other about taking care of ourselves, as we like to grind, and sometimes because we're such passionate fans, we forget to take a breather and go outside and feel some ground and grass and connect with Mother Earth. So looking forward to that. Thank you. At the end, Evan's going to tell us about the latest rug pulls or scams happening in Web3. So you definitely want to stick around for that.
I have a juicy one this week that's pretty interesting. I think some of our listeners are definitely going to know of this person, so I'm excited to share that with you guys.
Oh, person, you're calling someone out live on
well,
there?
Okay. I mean, when I present it to you, it'll make a little bit more sense. Everybody's calling them out. Let me just say that.
Looking forward to it. I remember going through our notes and I saw some stuff on there. It's like, oh man, let's go. I want to hear about this. But let's jump right into that. One of the first topics I wanted to share, and let's see, share screen. I always got to figure this out and load so many windows and so many options. But here we go. Okay, system. Okay, well, bear with me. Like, did I freeze on stream? I gotta open up system preferences, lock. What? Brief browser. Okay. Bear with me. Sorry. Technical difficulties. New system. I gotta unlock some stuff and give some permissions here. We're gonna jump right up. Wait. No. It needs me to quit the web browser. What are you talking about? I can't quit the web browser. Can I do that? Hang on. Oh, geez. Window. Let's see. Oh man. I should have troubleshooted this before that with a new system. What was I thinking about? Check Google Chrome if you already checked. Uncheck, recheck. Uncheck, recheck. Restart. All right. So I'm gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna do I'm not gonna end the broadcast. I'm gonna restart and try to join in. And so everyone cross your fingers. We're gonna try to do this real quick.
All right.
Dan, wait, did I give out that Dan is in the back studio? I think I might have given that away. Lieutenant Dan, bear with us. We're gonna make this happen here shortly. Now it's letting me share my screen, but I can't do that because my screen's too wide and people are not going to be able to see anything. They're going to need a magnifying glass. System preferences changes may need to be saved. So I'm going to take a risk and I'll be right back.
Okay.
That's authorized. Okay. Okay. Well, that didn't do shit. Please, I apologize. Forgive me.
All is good, my friend. All is good.
Trying to figure this out.
It's just me. We lost Ivan. It's okay. I am going to share a little update on Rove World for you guys, if it'll let me present here. It's not going to let me present because Ivan has to... There he is! He made it back! We don't have audio on you, my friend. We're missing audio. But you're back, and I'm happy as hell to see you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, there it is.
We're back. We're doing this.
That's amazing. That worked. I'm surprised that worked.
Yeah, I mean, give it to StreamYard. Doing their stuff.
Yeah, they are. They are on the ball.
Sure. And we've got it. We've got it. Oh no, this is your share. Oh, here's my share. Let's go. Platinum Bay NFT. Welcome to the stream. I can finally get into it. So, why am I sharing this? I wanted to provide a very unique example of real life elements and assets we're used to owning, trading, exchanging that are serious. And excuse me, this has to do with real estate. Platinum Bay is creating an opportunity to, I'm not going to bore you with the white paper, but for as little as $100 to get into a project of a construction of a luxury beachfront resort right in Thailand. That there's video and I've seen it. I was going to say firsthand, but I've only seen videos firsthand. I can show videos here firsthand. But this is progress. Progress of their construction of the actual resort that's being built. And this project gives you fractionalized ownership with units within the resort that also reward you and give you the opportunity to earn NFTs that are used towards stays at the actual resort. So it's quite an interesting play.
Yeah.
And I mean, this video actually shows development and real estate building, and there's a physical element there. Nothing interesting to see there, really. But and what's more interesting is what it's going to look like when it's finished. I can show down here below, but it does give you a lot of different utilities. Asset ownership, you're buying fractional real estate just by owning a digital asset. Passive income, again, that gives you yields and allows you to earn NFTs that can be sold or redeemed for stay at the resort. Staking rewards with a play of they're introducing a token play, but they're also, in order to exchange the token, you need to convert it to a stable coin. So there's quite an avoidance of anything being labeled as a security. And resort rewards backed by additional assets. And so I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's quite new. It's early in their roadmap. They do share different figures of what the potential earnings are as a percentage. what's important to point out here is that, excuse me, because they're not giving you amounts or specific figures, it's just a potential percentage. It's quite smart. It's also one of the requirements to avoid any sort of regulation with regards to a project being labeled as a security. And the fact that they're exchanging into a stable coin also avoids some of those regulations and listings. And so, what happened to me, but by no means am I trying to shield this project. It's quite interesting. There's serious assets involved. Have there been other projects that have involved real estate? Absolutely. But usually their entry level is a lot higher than something as little as $100 in USDC. And so this creates an opportunity for many people to explore, also at the same time learn. Here at the American Crypto Academy, we're all about teaching. And so with all lessons, there's a cost paying tuition. So some of these explorations of projects sometimes are fee to also learning and growing with the ecosystem and getting explored. There's never a right time to jump in, be it a bull market or a bear market, in my opinion. It's always about taking action and exploring something that strikes somebody's fancy. For me, that was video games that brought me into the space, but for others, maybe real estate. And the American Crypto Academy is currently working heavily on developing content for realtors. So I thought this would be a very interesting project to highlight with a real-time use case scenario.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that's cool that they have such a low entry like that. Could definitely hold some potential. I'm going to have to do some more research on my own, as you should as well if you're listening to this.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me share here.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's really cool.
All right. I'm curious and excited about the next project, Evan.
Yeah. Well, so this isn't technically a project. It's technically like a class of projects.
Ooh.
So we're going to go ahead and get into Bitcoin Ordinals, the Bitcoin NFTs.
Right. Where is that? There you go.
All right. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. These are very technical, so I didn't go into the super nitty gritty of it personally quite yet, but I do want to share this with you guys in case anyone is specifically interested. There's some really good information in a few of these articles that I found. So basically, the difference between Bitcoin NFTs and Ethereum NFTs is that these are inscribed within the actual blockchain. They are hard-coded on-chain, connected to individual satoshis, so that you can provably own them, and they're not backed by ERC 721 or ERC 1155 type tokens. So these are like inscribed directly onto the blockchain and connect to satoshis. So it's a whole different type of asset that I think is definitely a good change of pace from my perspective. So basically, we've seen a mixed reaction from the crypto community about these. People are a little bit upset that NFTs have been brought to Bitcoin, but it's also brought in some insane volume on these over-the-counter trades for these inscriptions and these ordinals, due to the fact that there are so few of them and that the trading of them is so primitive at this point. I mean, we're literally doing trades within a spreadsheet, and things are being done over the counter for thousands, and honestly there's been a couple sales that have been in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range. So it's really interesting to kind of see how this is developing. Where was that bit that I wanted to? Okay, so inscriptions are a new concept in the world of Bitcoin that allows users to attach metadata and other digital assets to their Bitcoins, creating unique digital artifacts. This opens up new opportunities for Bitcoin to be used in ways that go beyond its original purpose as a digital currency and has the potential to bring new and exciting use cases to the world of cryptocurrency. So you can create an inscription with a JPEG similar to how you would on Ethereum, but it looks a lot different on the blockchain side. There is a Genesis transaction. There's a Satoshi that is directly attached to, and I found this amazing kind of breakdown of what this looks like, and some more details on this if you guys want to look into it. It's at ordinals.com. some really great information if anyone is interested on looking a little bit further into this stuff. Definitely, definitely a bit above my head, but it's something that I think is going to make a pretty significant impact on cryptocurrency overall, not just the NFT and not just the Bitcoin space. I think the idea of inscribing uh, NFTs directly on chain and connecting them directly to that currency is going to be something that we see a lot more of coming in the next couple of years for sure.
All right, right. I mean, like Bitcoin NFTs were some of the first NFTs before Ethereum was born, and was it Stacks try to introduce that? I'm not
They
enough
might have.
familiar with how Stacks has been progressing. I know last time I tried to speak to their dev team at Consensus in Austin last conference, their booth was always crowded. I never got a chance to speak to their devs for various reasons, and so I imagine there's some development there from the same sentiment of this is Bitcoin, this is the OG of blockchains and crypto, and so why not have NFTs there? And so curious to see what happens. I imagine transactions are going to be a lot slower than what we're used to on Ethereum, even though that already transfers only 10 transactions per, is it second or minute? I always miss them up.
It's second.
Or 13, not 10, 13. I'm sorry. I don't want to make that mistake. So there's a lot of growth and potential there, but yeah, when Bitcoin goes to $2 million and you have an NFT on Bitcoin, what does that mean for that NFT, regardless of what the JPEG on it is?
That's a really good point, because each Satoshi is going to have its value no matter what's connected to it. So that's a really good point. And what happens if that Satoshi gets spent or something? Like there's a lot of things that are interesting about that about this whole concept. I'm super excited to see it play out a little bit more. And on that Stacks topic that you're talking about, I do have a friend of mine that is working on building a Stacks based NFT based project. So there is development going on that end, even before this got hot over the last week or so, of that stuff still churning in the background and moving pretty quickly along. So
yeah, right on. I'm potentially one of those fans that wants to create a collection on there with a brand that I'm involved in, but that's another conversation for another show. We'll get to that. All right, moving right along. I'm just gonna do a quick update on a project I talked about last week, and that is Train of the Century. They recently polled the community on what the community prioritizes on 3 different topics. Something that's a low time requirement from a perspective of from a development perspective, medium and high time requirement. What was the results were that the first thing they're going to tackle with low time development requirement is new NPCs. There's, as I mentioned before, there's several NPC characters within the game. They're going to introduce new ones. Medium time requirement, the community voted on events and daily quests, so it makes the game a little more interesting on daily basis, so people like me don't just log in, receive and send the trains and move out. There's actually more to do on daily basis. And most importantly, which is a very, very high request, is station owner gifts, which has more to do with improving the rewards for station owners. Is one of the not so nice comments on the project has been that station owners, although the investment everyone made to have a station, they're not seeing the benefits of passive earning as much as actual players that are active are seeing. And so the team's trying to balance that out. So overall, this is just a highlight of how the project and the team that's been around for over a year at this point is looking back at the community, asking them what is important to you, and balancing out their development efforts as they progress further. So something to keep note of, something we like seeing from projects, and again, gives a lot of vote of confidence in further development with the game. As a reminder, we're still yet to see another century, so definitely looking forward to that. But the station owner rewards were important to address, as we didn't want to see a station owner's decline in our real estate values. With that, Evan, tell us a little bit about Liberty Square, as I'm looking forward to inviting our guest up on stage and talking about the X collection.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I will definitely tell you guys a little bit about Liberty Square. So, Liberty Square has been one of my favorite collections since about September. Beginning of September, I aped in super hard. I absolutely went balls to the wall because I fell in
Wait,
love
is
with this
that are
project.
you just puffing your bags? Is that what you're telling
No,
us
no, no,
about
no.
it?
I'm about to explain
JK,
why I did
JK,
that. I'm about to
JK.
explain why. No, so this project was built heavily on art and lore. Their goals are to create a amazing community, which they've done very successfully. They have some of the best team in the game. That their personas and personalities mesh so well in a Twitter space setting or in a Discord setting. It's fun, playful banter that the whole community gets involved in, which I think is so valuable in the space, right? Being able to kind of passively enjoy entertainment between friends and feeling that family-like community. So I've enjoyed that thoroughly. I do want to share a thread that I created a while back about Liberty Square, and I'm going to touch on some things that have changed and evolved since this thread went live. Let me share my screen here, and we'll talk a little bit about what's on here, and then what is been announced and what has came since I made this thread. So Liberty Square, I mean, they're super packed with utility, a heavy focus on entertainment, and with that, the founder has a extremely solid background in entertainment, movies, TV, comic books, as well as touring. So he has some insane background surrounding merch as well. So they released the mercantile shop within their website. Believe that was in October. You're able to spend the stake tokens that you receive from staking your NFTs on their awesome merch that they have here. They have some cool shirts, bucket hats. They have some cool accessories as well. They have like 50 different items in there, which is absolutely insane to me. I definitely recommend anyone to go to libertysquare.io, read a little bit into things themselves. This project takes forever to digest, but once you do, it's insane, and you can't really undo that understanding. I mean, I've been hooked ever since. And they're also going to be pushing out the division, which is basically going to be a service or a SaaS business at surrounding merch. So they're going to be handling other NFT projects, other companies, merch drops through this division platform. There hasn't been a whole lot of updates on this currently, but there's a few other things that I want to touch on that kind of explain why that hasn't been moving forward as quickly as some other things. So this is a bit of a rundown of some of the things that they've done. They got the merch shop opened. Oh, I guess that was in September. They just released staking multipliers. They're doing their comic book release. They did some teases in September as well as October. They had some issues with the artists being tied to NFTs, so they've had to adjust their art approach. But the stories are all done, and they've been doing teases on those as well. Destruction and nuclear destruction, a burn mechanic that was done in October and November. They have not done their fully illustrated short story, unfortunately, because of the artist issue I mentioned before. But there's a lot of cool stuff that they're doing on top of that to make up for it. They did their Purgatory raffle. This was incredible. They gave away like 10,000 Solana worth of NFTs to their holders, all raffled with the token that they had been yielding from staking, which is crazy to me. I mean, I got probably 200 Solana worth of NFTs for free. Just by using the tokens that I had gotten from staking. And they're also going to be launching their Degenerates. This got pushed back as we saw some issues with the, not the minting platform, with Magic Eden and their royalty issues. So they're going to be launching this on the new Solana NFT standard with built-in royalties into the direct launch of the project. Another thing I wanted to talk a little bit about was their potential partnership with a top 10 company in the world. So there are only 6 tech-based companies that fit this profile. It was Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and a couple more that I can't think of. But we narrowed them down as a community. We've had lots of community discussions trying to figure out who this is. And he's mentioned several times that he left clues behind in the art to tease kind of what some of the things that are upcoming are. And we noticed that one of the backgrounds has a pretty blatant Amazon logo on it. I couldn't find it in time today. Today's been a busy day. I will be sure to share that on my Twitter though, so be sure to follow me at ev.crypto. But so there's been some teases around that, some hints, as well as we saw several weeks after they started teasing this, we saw the Amazon announce that they are going to be diving headfirst into NFTs, and they're also going to be doing this and hosting this on their Amazon platform, not AWS. So this is something I've gotten super excited about, and we haven't really found any news to indicate otherwise that it might be a different company. And Liberty has doubled down, tripled down on this concept, but he's not giving anything away. He's got some strict NDAs that he cannot break, which honestly gets me excited. When there's a strong NDA like that, you know that there's some people behind it that are bringing something cool to the table. But I also want to mention that Liberty himself was an undoxed founder for several months, or actually almost a year, if I'm being exact, navigating the Solana and Ethereum NFT space, learning how degens flow, how these projects are successful and how they fail, and eventually started his own project as Liberty Square, still undoxed, started privately doxing to some influencers in the space, some people that he respected and vibed with in spaces, and people he surrounded himself with, started privately doxing, and officially doxed himself in December as Brian Schechter, I believe it's pronounced. He was the band manager for My Chemical Romance. He was the creator of the amazing characters surrounding the Black Parade, everything that came along with that, as well as he was the guy that brought to market to Netflix, as well as the comic book for the Umbrella Academy. So he has backgrounds in all kinds of things, and that's just his one client that he can share publicly. He has a lot of other stuff that goes on in the background that we are not aware of and that he can't share due to contracts and things like that. So definitely something to look into. Definitely reach out to me if you have questions. I can answer those questions or direct you to someone that can. Believe me, I'm neck deep in the community. So if anyone's interested or has any questions, please just reach out. But that's what I got for Liberty Square, Ivan.
Wait, I was muted. For Sheezy says Scripture 9420. Let's go. Right on. I mean, so like a couple things I'm gonna say there. A little bit on, oh, we got merch and everything else. Great. So does everyone else. We saw that in the bull run, and everyone scuffs at it during the bear run. And so I think what's more important to highlight there is the connections and the doxing the developers made, the fact that he has engaged with the community. And so where you and the community is getting that alpha is from being engaged and knowing this person firsthand and seeing where he's come. And so I can vouch for that for a lot of developers myself, where people are selling their assets, not knowing better of what they're giving away for literally pennies. And so right on. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. Without much further ado, let's get into the X collection with our special, at this point, a special guest. May I add, we have a couple guests for you lined up tonight. Very excited. I want to do a quick, brief introduction of the project firsthand, and we're going to welcome up our guests on stage. And so the X collection, what is the X about? Well, what got me first fired up about this project is the fact that it was a ex-lead developer for Activision that has went on his own to build in the Web3 space with VR and all aspects that blockchain technology provide for the community and for projects. And so the X NFT, it's a very immersive VR experience. There's no PFPs. There's no characters behind this project that stand as an image that takes place to represent them, because we as individuals are the characters. And so this X collection project experience brings in everything else so that we can experience an immersive dive into what blockchains provide, what VR provides, and where technology has gotten. There is a short video we can play for you. It is a couple of minutes long, but I'm going to summarize real quick. There's a play on 9 legendary commanders from the history books that are brought to life in VR through this experience that lead their legionnaires, where currently there's a cohort for each legendary commander, and you can pick which legendary commander you want to serve in a cohort with and play with and explore the possibilities with the collection. There's a quest. The biggest thing behind the collection right now and the project and the everything the X stands for is there's a quest to find the one. There's 9 legendary commanders, but there's one that is hidden for everyone to discover. There's all kinds of clues throughout the metaverse, in real life, via events, very engaging to discover and find the one, which will lead to a bounty of rewards, not just cash, but assets and opportunities, and as well further growth within the project itself. There's a lot of leaves to uncover here, but overall, it is an immersive experience that brings us back to our age of fighting in our imaginative land and connecting with our friends and buddies and playing the metaverse with what we've come to know of the Web3 community. And without further ado, I realize I'm not doing this justice. I'd love to welcome up on stage Lieutenant Dan himself, and who will dive a little deeper with us into the project and share more what we can expect from the X collection. Lieutenant Dan, welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yo, Evan, thanks for giving me that on Liberty Square, man. That sounds like an interesting project with a big, and a cool roadmap. So I'm going to be checking them out. Thanks for that alpha, man.
Absolutely.
Yo, I'm so excited to be part of this show. I want you guys just to take in what you're seeing right here. This is sort of some of the spirit that's going into this collection, this project. Ivan, he built me up. I wasn't in the Call of Duty game, even though I would have loved to been. But I did hide some Easter eggs in a couple games. I have an Easter egg in Spider-Man 3. I got an Easter egg in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. So I'm a little different. My background's a little bit different. I was recruited out of college. A lot of people have to, go out and apply for their job in the game industry. But I was sought after, and there was one reason I was sought after, because this is my life's mission. I dropped out of high school. I started testing for Acclaim quality assurance. I learned that side of it. I went to school. I went to school for film, and then I went to school for games. I graduated at the top of my class. I was the only recipient of the Advanced Achievement Award. Every graduating class only has one recipient of the Advanced Achievement Award, and that person speaks on behalf of the graduating class. I was being recruited by multiple companies, Ubisoft, EA, but Activision stuck out to me because Grant Collier, the co-founder of Infinity Ward and the original creator of Call of Duty, he came to my university and he spoke to us. And I said, I'm going to go work for that guy, and I'm going to become a creative director on Call of Duty. And that was my mission. And I went after it hardcore. but something I learned on the way, which I didn't realize at the time. First, I specialize in immersive experiences. So my skill set really shines when I bring real things to life. And I started on Spider-Man 3, I noticed all the mission designers, they wanted to do the story missions, but I was really drawn to the tutorial missions because I love teaching the user. And Ivan hinted to this, what this project's about. It's the days of playing the hero are going to go away soon. The days of becoming the hero are coming soon. And I want to be on that forefront, and I want to teach the user and the gamer, and I want to make them stronger, and I want to make them better in the ultimate game, which is life. So I have to do it thematically through a story. And instead of making up a story, I'm bringing back to life the heroes from our past. You see Joan of Arc? And if you understand Joan of Arc's story, it's a powerful one, and she doesn't get enough of her respect for leading an army and the courage that she did. Genghis Khan, who's really misrepresented and really put together as, you know, the enemy and the villain, but he was a conqueror. But if you understand what his nature was, he was God's payback at the time. He went through hell. His family went through hell. He became a slave. He was beat down to the ground to nothing, and he rose back up to conquer most of the world. And we could learn from these individuals, not only from the things they did, but the things they did wrong and the things they did right, right? George Washington's a perfect example. You know, he says, in order to prevent war, we have to prepare for it. I want to prepare for the next war to come. And that war is happening right now in the metaverse, and we don't even really realize it. Web 2 people are trying to come to this space, and they're trying to buy into collections and everything. And there's trolls, and there's scammers, and there's rug pullers all around us. There's a battlefield, right? And everybody's racing to the finish line without going through the steps. And when the first step is to set up fortifications, and that's what we're setting up. A place to protect people, and it's called the Metaphor. And these generals are actually people in real life that can do that. Influencers, motivational speakers, guys that understand Web3, cybersecurity guys, people that can help us. That's why we picked out these commanders. They're not just someone that buys in the project. There's someone we're sought after, or they could come to us because they want to be part of this. But really what it's going to end up coming down to is the one. Now, the one is not something you're going to find. This one is something someone's going to become. Now, if we just take a look at this image real fast, I'm going to go into the details. So I specialize in realistic simulations. And I had the privilege to work with companies that are on the front lines of training soldiers, but training officers and leaders and thought leaders, not just about battle. Remember what George Washington says, in order to prevent war, you have to prepare for it, right? So we'd be foolish if we don't prepare for the next war to come, which is drone warfare. If you talk to any boots on the ground right now in Ukraine, they're all looking for drones or anti-drones. The most dangerous person on the battlefield is the air combat controller, because he's controlling the drone strikes. You could do massive damage. And to understand where war is going in terms of drone warfare, ground and aerial drones, and wearables that are controlling them, I want to give the mainstream people access to see this in order to prevent this. All right, so I have access. Me and SOCOM are the only people that are access this collection, the X. Is the only two people, us and the tier 1 operators in SOCOM, which they're in prototyping phase for them. This group called Jado, they created this Jedi sleeve. It's actually the Jet AI sleeve. It's a gesture encrypted device interface wearable. It gives you biometrics like your heart rate, glucose levels, and whatnot. But what it really does is it controls ground drones like the Vision 60 from Ghost Robotics. and aerial drones, the top ones in the world, full throttle, Thor, Stealth, Falcon. And they're in works to control more of the more even mainstream drones. One of the people we're talking to is called Skydio. They're one of the top drone manufacturers in the world. Now they have a new system that deploys from a launching pad, where you can have a launching pad in one country and you could be controlling that drone from another country. This is where the tech's going. So imagine in 20 years how drones are going to dominate the battlefield and our lives everywhere. How do we understand them? How do we understand the next things to come? A lot of the new technologies used in mixed reality headsets and these types of wearables. Our soldiers are already training on the IVAS, but we're all going to be using, and all the technologists, Apple, Meta, everybody that's in these head-mounted displays, they're all saying the same thing. It's hands-free and heads up. And what that means is your hands are going to become the controller eventually. You're not going to be tailored to a device. And your screens are going to be displayed out in front of you, so you don't have to look and are stuck to this 2D screen. That's literally, it's keeping us trapped. I really want, as you know, since I started working on the motion controllers for Spider-Man 3 for the Wii, I wanted the body and the arms and the hands to become the controllers, because I saw such a new design opportunity. But not only that, but it's honestly for well-being as well. I'm a gamer since I was a little kid. I have deformities because I played so much in my wrists, my hands. My body felt it. My hips felt it. Everything feels it. We feel it now more than anybody because we're in the metaverse, right, guys? We're in here. We're stuck to these 2D screens, and it's going to change. And I want to just show people that, and I'm going to show it through a new game experience like nothing you've ever seen. And it's called the X, but really it stands for the 10th. And it's about the past, preserving the past, and preparing for the future. And I don't want to come across as a military guy that's trying to push guns and violence and whatnot. I'm actually the complete opposite. Anybody that knows me, LT, that they call me, I teach kids MMA. I'm a college teacher as well to private university up in New York when I work for Activision. All I want to do is make the user, the person, better. And that's what I want to do. And I'm doing it through a story. Yes, that's revolved around commanders and war, but we can learn a lot from war. And the number one thing we can learn from war is that it needs to be stopped. And that's what I'm about. And I'm sorry if I went too deep or went on a rant, but Evan, you see how passionate I am about this, because I have to be. This is a huge burden. And I'm taking a huge responsibility to even do this. And I'm sacrificing a lot of my life, of course, my friendships. If you know my story, I locked myself in a room in order to create like this, because I have to be at the top of my game. All creative directors that are creating AAA titles, Joe Seacott, the co-creator right now of Warzone on Call of Duty, they first have to learn every aspect of the industry: quality assurance, testing, engineering, tools. If you want to become a good game designer, creative director, it's just like becoming a well-rounded fighter. You need to know your jiu-jitsu, your Muay Thai, your boxing, your wrestling, your cardio. Designers are the same thing. That's why it just connects so well with me. You have to know every aspect of the game industry, and then you got to give it all up. Just like Ron Howard says, I studied a lot of film directors, Ridley Scott, James Cameron, and they all say this is a huge burden. And if you watch the new Fablemans by Steven Spielberg, you'll understand where he's coming from. Artists in general, Ivan, you guys are artists in your own right as well. You're seeing digital art come to life all around us. There's artists all in this space, and I love it. And that's why I'm here. And I don't have a big voice here. So I'm like buried behind the noise, but I have a project that's going to be changing things. And eventually people are going to see it. And being on this kind of show and this kind of platform is freaking allowing me to even get my voice out. So I thank you guys. I appreciate it.
The pleasure's ours. The passion behind what you're building, just yourself, your project, it all transcribes and right into the product and the product and the project that you're offering the community. And we haven't even got into what potentially the project is even scratching upon with that intro that you did. And so, like, thank you. It's all heartfelt. We feel your energy, and I appreciate you being here with us to share that.
Yes, sir. And I'm just going to go on one more thing, a little rant, just so you guys could see, you know, the amount, the intricate, the details. When you talk about utility and you talk about interoperability, and you talk about designing things that have a long longevity and a roadmap, all of our assets we capture we not only test on the HoloLens 2.0, which I don't know if any really other NFT collections are testing on the latest mixed reality headsets, but we test all of our assets on the latest VR headsets. We design our textures to be optimized and grow as time, so we can present higher qualities up to 8K, 16K. You know, we have a huge longevity. And when we talk about where this evolves to, all this is built on a blueprint layer, which Unreal, we work on the UE5 engine, and Unreal has two main layers to its development. They have the blueprints and they have the source code, right? You can work on two different layers. We store our children classes all around our commanders so they can evolve in time. So eventually, let me just show you something. Give me 1 second. All right. So eventually, what we have here is a museum quality art piece, but this thing's going to come alive. We're literally we're bringing these commanders back to life like no one has. And there's there's big stories. So eventually the horse, like Joan of Arc's horse Charlie, was given to her as a gift. It was said it was burned alive before her, just to try to get her to confess. You know, the war horses that we're bringing back to life, no one even recognizes. And back in their time, they were just as famous as the commanders. Genitar was a polydactyl horse that was Caesar's horse. When it was born with a human thumb. They call them polydactyls, right? There was another great leader that had a horse called Bucephalus, and he was another polydactyl horse. And they said whoever owned Genitar was going to conquer the world. And Caesar's like, I want that horse for mine. And he took it as his own. And it was his most prized possession. In battle, he used to jump off his horse just to keep it safe and walk and run into battle. There's so much history behind the war horses that we don't even get into. But really, I want to talk about this guy right here, because he really inspired me to tell combat in a new way. So Tim Hetherington, he was the co-director of Restrepo. When I left Activision, decided to go off on my own and start creating the X, or start studying and preparing to create the X. He was the first person I contacted. He's probably the world's best war journalist. He was in Libya. He got killed in Libya. He was in Liberia. He was in Afghanistan, in the most dangerous remote location, Korengal Valley. And he spent a whole year there with Sebastian Junger, who was his co-director. And their film Restrepo was documentary of the year for Netflix when it launched. So if you ever have a chance, check out Restrepo. Now, Tim was an interesting war journalist, man, and he told the story from the soldier's perspective. It's not all about action, fighting, killing, and whatnot. War is extreme boredom compounded with extreme terror and chaos. And he would tell the story from the soldiers in a whole different way. And I think if the next Call of Duty generation gets to see what war is actually really like, about making peace. It's not about war. It's about making peace. And I think all these guys, because Call of Duty is one of the biggest recruiting tools for the military right now. And that's just from what I got from the front lines from recruiters. They tell me that. Several have told me that. And to have that and not have Call of Duty give the information of preparing them for the real combat and getting them prepared mentally and physically for not war, but to prevent it. And I think we could learn a lot from our commanders from our past, from their mistakes and their successes. And then we can recognize the heroes that came and gave up everything. They gave up everything for us. This is the Hall of Honor. You know, Murph, right, from Lone Survivor, all these guys. John Chapman, one of the best air combat controllers that ever lived. His story is going to be coming out soon. All these guys have a great story, and I'm not going to forget it. And I don't want anybody that's interested in learning about, I call it polemology. My gamer tag's called Polemos. It's the study of war and its philosophies and ideologies. Again, not to engage in it, but to prevent it. All right, I'm going to stop here.
That was my dog throwing around his bone in the background. Pardon that noise. But I wanted to point out here is that this is the museum that you have in what the X collection calls the Metafort, which is
here.
One of my favorite parts of all of this, because talk about creating a metaverse. We're starting with a Metafort, and there's so much to do with the Metafort. You're not going to miss or need a metaverse to begin with. But yeah, and this is just getting started.
All right. You want me to talk a little bit about this, Ivan?
Yes, but I wanted to real quick, if I may, if I can figure out my controls here, I wanted to introduce Sean. Sean, welcome to the show.
Hello,
Sean,
hello.
If you can give a little intro of yourself and how you're working with Lieutenant Dan and the X collection. Glad to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, man, great to be here. And yes, we are all fully docked, Sean Mara. And when I got in this craze, when I got bit by the DeFi and blockchain bug in 2019, of course, I was like, oh, everybody uses names. I got to use a name. But I've been doxxed for 30 years, building advertising, marketing companies in the data ad tech and the data and ad tech and marketing services space. Built several companies, exits in there, serial entrepreneur. But just when you think, hey, man, you've done it all 30 years and it sounds like, hey, I want to go, grow dreads and smoke weed in St. Lucia, on the beaches with Rastafarians, I discover the blockchain, right? So, all of a sudden I feel like I was when I was 20 and I get super pumped up. I get, start studying, 50 hours. It was like 1,000 hours. You start doing DeFi, NFTs, right? And next thing of course, I'm like, well, I'm seeing all this and I want, there's great projects that came out of 2020, projects in 2019, 2020. But I really came to the decision as I was investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into these projects and realizing, well, we could do this and we're going to do this. And just to make a long story short, I was an investor, a collector first. I was drawn to this space by the disruption. In 1994, I was standing there, I like to say, during Web 1 with my eyes wide shut. And while we all harnessed and leveraged technology, I feel like we're at that same precipice and that same moment in time with blockchain and what we're doing in Web 3. But this time I'm standing here with my eyes wide open. So as serendipity and deals and friends and would have it, Dan and I met and we were brought together because Dan company, behind this project, what's very important is there's technology behind this. What you're seeing and what produces those NFTs, Dan's company, Mode Meta, they invented the configurator technology that not only built the Ford Bronco, but was in the gun industry. And it was from that and from a common partner that was investing heavily with Dan and their technology that brought us together because they saw they knew my love and passion in the NFT space and Web3 and knew I was looking for the right project and turned down tons of projects and invested in projects only to realize, no, these aren't the ones. And when I met Dan, we were talking about everything from guns and weapons, and they had this configurator and the eureka hit. And we got back together a few days later after I asked for, some time, and I laid out for him this concept of 9 legendary commanders and 6,500 legionnaires, and the names were a little bit different, but it was in that same the spirit. And as I went through this concept and this idea, Dan, when I got done, and it was a good dissertation, Dan said, "Are you done?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I've been working on that for 10 years, and this is my life's work." And it was just this serendipitous moment where we came together, and I had this idea based on what I understood about the NFT space and Web3 and Dan, and we just collided. And we both have teams behind us and great people that work with us, and we brought everybody together for the commercialization of this project specifically. And just under a year later, we have made massive leaps in delivering product, as you can see. And basically what came out of those early days is exactly when Ivan was showing the website. There's a meta paper there. That meta paper, and we didn't change it and haven't changed it since that site was published, purposely because we laid out really the foundation of even what we built and what we accomplished in building not only an actual collection, a generative collection that's built with Dan's technology, using the configurator that builds generative NFTs in the Unreal Engine. And this is all built on the UE5 blueprint. So it's an evolving museum quality asset. It's truly something that will evolve and grow over time, and we'll talk more about that. But the basis of the collection, because we were going to bootstrap and self-fund, and not go down the treacherous path of raising all kinds of capital for a AAA game, because we could have went that way with Dan's pedigree and his tenure and who he is. But we said, look, let's do this in the democratized way. Let's do this in Web3. Let's do this where the future is. Let's not go backwards, because that would be the easier route to go and pitch a VC and raise $100 million, be on the track to raise $100 million and have an incredibly long dev cycle and a high failure rate. Let's go at this differently. And that's what we began to do. And we built 9 legendary commanders. We sold 5 so far at 25, a total of 88 ETH. We began and launched only our first 1,500, which are a very special selection of those first 6,500 legionnaires. And they're a mashup of the history and the modern and the future. So when Ivan mentioned that the 1 legendary commander, that's the base of all legionnaires. And the generative legionnaires are assigned, they're equally distributed over the 9 legendary commanders, and they carry with them the very DNA, i.e. traits, from their legendary commanders, which makes them a mashup of past, present, and future, because they all have the base of the 1. And if you look at if you go to our Twitter or whatever Dan has up as far as a legionnaire, you can see. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, Ivan's got a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry guys, I had to pull over remotely and I can't see the screen.
I was just like, I've been dying over here. I'm like, what the heck is Dan showing? I haven't seen that. I'm watching all kinds of configurations and all kinds of trucks and an F-150 and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm dying over here to hear more about that. And like Dan's playing with some stuff I haven't even seen myself yet. And so as you were speaking, Sean, I was just like, what is going on?
I'm telling you, man, we've been at this a long time. We've been digging these trenches for the metaverse, man. I want the metaverse to recognize that we're here to support you with everything. We got tools. So what you're looking at is, we started with what a configurator is. It's an NFT generator, right? And we spent over 2 years just working on configurators that have immersive technology built into them, that have AR built into them, so someone can configure on the web, and then anybody with an AR camera or an iPhone, new iPhones, anything like that, they can see the configurations happen in real time. So you can do peer-to-peer configurations. One person could design and one person could project and augment a reality. So you saw a couple of things that on that Ford. Actually, let me pull that back up. Loop. So, then we moved on to our weapons configurator, and we did that for a full year with our company. Just in our configurators, we got 7 figures in. on the tool set, because we've been at it for so long, and it's all because we're building up to this collection. We're preparing for it, and now it's game time. Now we're on the battlefield, and we want the metaverse to know we're here so we can have a voice, man, because we're trying to bring something new and unique to this space. I want to support other communities too. There's a lot of collaborations that are out there that we would love, and we don't even have introductions to. So I mean, we're on this scene ready to go with tool sets, with an experience coming on, virtual reality, training, and I got the boys behind us. I got real brands, top brands that are in the DoD space, brands that they don't do digital twins for any other mainstream company. I got tier 1 operators. I got former Navy SEAL Team 6 members. I got the core elite operations guys. We're ready to go.
In the fort.
All in the fort.
And the fort is a social hub. And what Ivan, I know Ivan, you love and we do too, because we're not building. Look at Amakoa Brands is building a fort, is building a metaverse, and so is the Sandbox and Mochaverse, and you have Decentraland. You have so many metaverses. What we're doing is we're building a hub. It's a social hub. It's the future of big data, right? It's also the future of walled gardens and what's happening with all big data shutting down and Facebook and Google, and they're all in a war. And that war is creating these walled gardens. They're digging their moats and they're shutting it down. And it's an incredible battle. So what we want to do is create a hub and a fort, like Dan says, that is that first line of defense, right? And ultimately where people of similar values, remember, you don't have to own one of our assets to come into the fort. It's open to anybody, but based on the level of experience you want to have, you'll have to connect you'll have to connect your wallet, but based on the level of experiences, there'll be microtransactions and transactions that could be in data. But if you're a holder of a Legionnaire, then you're going to have, obviously, I call it the red, right? You get behind the velvet rope. You get the ultimate access. That's part of the utility of the Legionnaire in the fort, is to be able to use this technology that Dan was showing. The configurator technology is a part of our quest game, because you're going to have to learn not only gun safety, how to take a weapon apart, know the parts, build it, and beat the clock before you can go in there and start blasting off rounds. And that's part of the game mechanics and how you level up your avatar and your character through all these mini game experiences. And that's the fun part, is that when Dan talks about it, he's so passionate, and you could really interpret it like, oh man, this is right, because Dan's a fighter and we've been in the trenches. But the reality of it is that this is a lot of fun, because not only are you going to learn from legendary commanders, it's not just about learning how Genghis Khan, as they say, what did they say, Dan? He lowered the level of, or he raised the level of the earth because of the amount of bodies he dropped on it, right? So it's not about that. It's about maybe sitting around with Sitting Bull and learning how to track a bison and be able to actually live off the land and eat, because you know how to hunt that buffalo with an actual bow and arrow. And you can feel the tension in the arrow because the way you learned it in the fort, in the actual range, because you'll be actual access weapons from legendary commanders. It's not just modern weapons. So if you understand the knowledge transfer that Dan talked about, when he taught people unknowingly how to play guitar in Guitar Hero, and you and your grandma dropped the guitar, Dan's knowledge transfer was already done. And believe it or not, if most people picked up a guitar, they could have played a chord or two. That's what Dan's mission was, even in his game, and that's what's going to come out in this game. So the short immersive experiences are short, and the reason they're short is nobody wants to put on VR and live in it for 8 hours, but you will put it on and you will sit with Sitting Bull to have that immersive experience for 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 3 minutes, no more than 12 minutes. And you're going to have all of these, and we're going to have them in different interoperable. The social hub and the metaphor connects to the metaverses. We have a deal that we've already cut. I'm not at liberty to share, but it's one of the It's the metaverse. It's a metaverse with a tremendous amount of active users, and we actually have our first deal, our first grant. We're very excited about that. Not at liberty to share where or who it is, but in these in these metaverses where we connect our meta fort, we have an outpost, and in those outposts, you'll be able to play mini games that tie into the quest. Or if you don't want to play the quest and you don't want to own a Legionnaire, you could play our mini game in these other metaverses and actually be able to earn in their native currency, be on a leaderboard, and just have fun, and never spend a dime to play our mini games or own an asset. But if you want to level up and you want to become the hero and not just play one, and you want to play for the 150,000 of the high stakes strategy game, looking for the one, and then all of the other missions and mini games, then you're the perfect prospect for a Legionnaire. And that's really what the asset is about. And it evolves over time, and it's on the UE5 blueprint. And with the brands, and I'm going to leave it here because I know Dan's showing it as I'm talking, but the brands, the whole concept of our suppliers is that we're creating immersive experiences with our technology for you and for even consumers from Web 2, Web 3. It's a Web 2.5 bridge, right? Where you can now, where could you think about this? Where could you go interact with a Ghost Robotics and actually ground drone and actually be able to have an active shooter experience, learn about it, be able to control it, right? Have fun doing that, right? Have fun doing that. And you would never be able to do that IRL, but our Legionnaires will be able to do it IRL, because like Syndicus, who has an actual shoot house in Southern California, you're going to get special access to that shoot house should you choose, and earn your way to go play that real shoot house. So that's how real brands are interacting, and we're bridging that gap to create that perfect connection where whether you want to stay in the metaverse, in the meta fort, and experience these brands and never translate that into an in real life experience, or you want to. And that's what the power of the Metafort is connecting with these brands, connecting with world-class weapons manufacturers, tactical companies, motivational speakers. Calvin Becerra, when Dan mentioned several of our legendary commanders, the way they were selected was based on what they were doing in Web 2 and Web 3, what they brought to the table. We didn't pay them to join. They actually invested and acquired a legendary commander, and they bring their superpowers. JPEG Poppy, who's Leonidas, and his team that is behind him of a fund holder, two guys that own a fund that are in the finance business, and JPEG Poppy, who's a personality, as you guys know, in Web3. And that's the power of the legendary commanders with those Legionnaires, and how you'll be able to experience all of that within the fort and in these interoperable experiences that we connect to in the in other metaverses.
Absolutely mind-blowing. There's no words to describe this. Evan, I'm asking in a second of what you think about this. It's your first exposure to the project, so I'm really curious about your thoughts. But ladies and gentlemen, viewers out there, if you haven't seen a game being developed before, you've seen it all here tonight. You've seen the backbones of the development of the 3D infrastructure, of all the bells and whistles, of all the connections, of the developer himself bringing this, boarding it into life and existence, creativity, big team supporting this developer, a lot of sponsors and contributors putting first-hand experience through years of development and Web 2 and how, as far as gaming has come with all the tools we've experienced as gamers, this is on the cutting edge of experiencing how tools work, how those equipment and every single sponsor that has contributed, from the droids to the vehicles to the weapons themselves, or the equipment or the headsets. It's all studied based on physical realities, right alongside of what our national and international army teams and professionals are using. And so it is absolutely mind-blowing, and I'm honored to have you guys on the space here with us tonight. And so thank you. But yeah, Evan, what do you got to say?
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you guys for joining and sharing this with us. I am absolutely blown away by some of these assets you're sharing, Dan. Like that is so cool. I mean, just the fact that like your tooling is so like extensive, right? You were showing the inside of the Ford the Bronco, and like just the details and the buttons and everything. It's just so incredible. And then the fact that it can, like, you have a tool that can fully render like 3D models within Unreal Engine is insane to me. Oh, don't tell me.
I
He's
appreciate that, Evan. I'm going to
Wait.
show you even more because
This
this
takes it to another level. Yes.
This is where this project shines. People don't know. 7 years just in virtual reality. I'm getting ready for this. So, can you guys see my screen okay?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Dog systems, companion systems. We're going to bring things to life people don't even understand. This is the next thing. Digital memories, recreation, digital twins, digital memories from our heroes, our AR and holographic configurators. All right. Let me
And this is what you'll be able to do with your Legionnaire in the future. This is what you'll be doing, right? You're not just going to have a PFP on OpenSea in your wallet, right? This is what you'll be. This is the utility. You're seeing the real utility of what a Legionnaire will be able to do in the metaphor, what the experience will be like for them. And of course, the gear you have is the gear based on, right? Not only that you can earn and that you can obviously acquire, but also what you get outfitted with when you mint your Legionnaire, and based on what cohort will carry that DNA in. Go ahead, dude. Awesome.
So, Ivan, are you a fan of Risk?
Yeah. Who doesn't like Risk and
now
taking
think
over?
Think about a digital Risk board, but the map is the metaverse, and the commanders in a real-time strategy can maneuver their troops, and they actually impact the metaverse and not just a fantasy.
Oh
So
my god.
they can get strategic and play a meta risk game where our board is the metaverse, and Caesar or Leonidas, who are all actual collectors, holders of our NFTs, that are the commanders, can say, hey, there's a battle going on over here at this metaverse. Over at Worlds Beyond, right now, there's a survival experience, a first-person experience. Let's send a 300 from Leonidas and go smoke those dudes over there. And we set up outposts. This is the gamified side of it, right? I talked about the training, I talked about the knowledge transfer, but this is the kind of game. Now the commanders can have this overlooking RTS strategic style game, while the other holders, the Legionnaires, are having a first-person combat system like right here. So there's going to be two different types of game modes that are happening based on what you're holding as an NFT holder inside our collection. That's why it almost had to be done like this. It had to be done through an NFT collection. You almost can't make a game of this scale if it's not, because of the differences in what blockchain has to offer with smart contracts and the way we can maneuver in the metaverse and how these different metaverses are actually using blockchain. It had to be an NFT collection. Everything I'm doing is because I'm supposed to be doing it, right? How else can this stuff get built unless I was made to build it? And I've been training my whole life to create an experience that's going to change the user and make them better in the ultimate life game, which is life. So, and we're going to do it in a fun, a new way that I think is the next evolution in gaming as a whole. And I know that's a big statement, but I've been doing it, training for this since I was 5 years old. And it's the only thing. And anybody that knows me is I'll go after it or I'll die trying. And this is my life. And you're getting this little sneak peek into it. And I anybody that comes on the ride with me, American Crypto Academy, shout out to all you guys, Ivan, for supporting me and giving me a voice and letting me share today. And there's so much more, but you guys have got early alpha more than you guys probably anticipated, and I appreciate you giving me this platform again to speak.
Dan,
Right
walk over
on.
to a Legionnaire real quick. Walk over to a Legionnaire real quick.
All right. So this is a special kind of Legionnaire. Well, we have Napoleon, but I want to go to, actually, let me see. Hold on one second.
There's some flags waving in there. I'm just gonna
Yeah, there's
say.
definitely going to be some lag because I have OBS going. I have two builds going too, and my 3090 can only handle so much.
I see some flags. I wasn't talking about lag. I see flags, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
say
flags,
more.
flags. Okay, good. So the flags.
I'm not gonna
too
say
bad.
more.
Good.
And yes, a flashlight mic drop right on Jimmy Hez.
All right,
Come on.
So if we look at this is one of our Centurions. What's interesting is, you know, when people start looking back at smart contracts, I think they're good just to look at how we can structure our smart contract. I think deserves, you know, a little just like, you know, a nod, because we approached our smart contract. When I worked on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, we worked with like almost 50 different heroes, right? With all sorts of rankings and attributes and setups. So when we approached our NFT collection, the Legionnaires they're evolving, they're interoperable, and they're changing. So you can earn medals through our smart contract directly attached to your NFT. You can earn ranking. So we're all going to start as grunts, except the commanders that have put it already in the work and are leading the pack. But everybody else starts as a grunt. But our ranking system, they can become a general themselves. You can eventually become your own general and have your own army, right? And your own soldiers. So this is a Centurion. He's a special kind of officer. So you could gain a Centurion rank, and he has special ability where he can go into all the different cohorts. And that's just one example. He has a different look, a different helmet. And then we got Napoleon over here. This is one of Napoleon's Legionnaires. So we recreated all the death masks and life masks for our commanders that were created. And those were the ways to like take a photo back in the day. And there were pieces of art usually done by, you know, top artists in those times. And Napoleon has his death mask. George Washington has his life mask. Sitting Bull has his death mask. You know, and we recreated that so you guys can see that kind of art. But
and also potentially get it as a trait, right? It's one of the traits, a life mask, a death mask. There's different types of gradients. There's different types of colors. You could get any type of, you could get several types of life or death mask. You may not get a life or death mask. You might get the IVASC, or you might get, there's so many options when it comes to just in the facial area, but everybody's base is a skeleton, as you could see, as Ivan talked about earlier, because you become the NFT. That's why none of them have any flesh. None of them have any, you know, they don't look like real people because they're not. You become them, but you get all of the outfit, the loadout, right? That's what you get, the mashup. You might get a flintlock pistol from Napoleon. You might get a modern IVASC. You might get a, you know, you might get a also a sword from Napoleon if you're in that cohort, coupled with the proper insignias and badges, etc. And there's literally almost 1 billion.
And Sean Rove, or was it me?
Nah, it might have been him. We don't hear you no more, Blizzly.
Could generate. And
right you're back.
Now, what happened?
He doesn't miss a beat, does he, Ivan?
No.
We lost you for a minute there, Sean.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. I'm still a little, I'm still a little at a disadvantage in a car. But those, the Legionnaires and those traits, I just think they're so important to talk about, because that's what makes each Legionnaire as unique as a person that mints it, because it's a mashup of the past, the present, and the future, and no one will be the same.
Absolutely. And there's a lot to unravel here, a lot of layers to the onion, as I started sharing in the beginning. And so by all means, stick with us here at Smart Assets from the American Crypto Academy. We're going to keep revisiting the project, keep trying to remove some layers for everyone, but it is an absolutely amazing project to look into and discover for yourself. There's a lot of various plays that you can participate with and explore the possibilities. Some names that I was hoping we can drop in there. I'm going to blame it on video. It's in the video. If you can catch it and recognize it, there's some alpha in there to be discovered, but nothing was disclosed officially in any way. So as soon as we can share more on the alpha I'm referring to, by all means, we're going to bring it up on this episode, on this show as an update. And I just absolutely love this project. I'm a big fan, big supporter. Here's my credit card, and charge whatever you need. I just want to be able to access everything. Just shy of a Legionnaire commander. I'm not quite on that status yet, but I'm going to ride with Satoshi's View. Shout out to Satoshi's View if he's out there somewhere. I'm going to ride that battle with him.
And Ivan, you can become a commander. You can earn it, which is this is what's special about our ranking system, our smart contract. Anybody could become a commander. And also, this collection, and I know sometimes it's difficult, to buy into certain collections that you like. If anybody's that's interested in this collection and you can't afford it, I do not want money to be a barrier. I developed a cadet program within our Discord. Just come over there and join our Discord. You want to go into the cadet program, we'll add you there and we'll give you a special profile pick. It costs nothing and you can earn your own Legionnaire. I do not want a price to be a barrier. We're going to war. I need soldiers. I don't care about the money. Let's go.
That's an excellent point, Dan. Thank you. I wasn't aware of that, and that's amazing. And on the similar note, I wanted to make folks aware is that the X collection has developed a unique approach to going a little bit viral with a mint by having a referral program. If anyone likes this project, wants to tell their friends about it, to Sean's point that he always makes, you're going to tell your friends about it regardless because of how much you like the project. And the X collection allows you to have a custom referral link where you get to earn additional NFTs based on the referrals that you make, that you're going to make anyway because of the project itself. And Dan and team are so confident they wanted to make that benefit out there so that as you're sharing or shilling with your friends anyways, you can also earn and get something out of it with the support from the collection and team themselves.
Right. And that's tied to the smart contract. So when you connect your wallet, and if you don't have a Legionnaire in your wallet, you won't see your affiliate link code. You're unique, like a fingerprint. But when you connect and you mint a Legionnaire, as soon as you approve the transaction on the mint page, you'll literally see the affiliate link pop up, and you just take that code, you share it, and like you said, shilling, Discord, friends, family. That will allow people to come in, and as you hit the number of the referrals that are required, you'll get a free Legionnaire. And we're really, really excited about that innovation. So thanks for bringing it up, Ivan. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what the space is all about, is innovating. So I love to highlight anytime a collection or a project is doing something unique.
There's the foghorn. Yeah. Let's go. Long live the X.
Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Yo, if it, just that what Blizzly was just telling you about our smart contract, I mean, that has a setup affiliate thing, has a ranking system. I mean, if the bigger collections, yo, just our smart contracts on the blockchain. Check it out. We'll show you what we mean business. We're here to be a big force in this space and do good things. We're literally trying to create an army that's going to protect the metaverse. So just, give us a shout out, give us a voice, a platform, just like American Crypto Academy just did, Evan and Ivan. Just let our voices be heard. Our work speaks for ourselves. We're so hungry for this because it's like so many people are counting on this, right? My family, my friends. I have an army in real life. All these kids that respect me as a MMA coach, and all these people that follow me when I fight, all the PJs, all the SEALs, all the soldiers and veterans that are struggling right now, that really wish that I succeed because they believe in me and they know I'm a genuine person. And I only do things out of my heart because that's just my spirit. So just freaking give us a voice. You guys are big collections out there. If you have a chance to see this, let people know about us. That's all you have to do. Just tell us about us, tell them about us, and let them know we're here in the trenches in the metaverse and we're fighting for this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and right on, ditto, and I echo that.
Thank you, gentlemen. I don't know if we're ending this right now. You're going to want me to throw me backstage, but Evan and Ivan, thank you again for this time, man.
No, not at all. You're welcome to stick around. We have we have a couple more topics we wanted to touch upon to finish up our episode here. I know we ran a little bit longer, but special guest always an exception. I wanted to give you guys time to share. There's also a lot more to share. Like I said, stay tuned. We're gonna bring Dan and Sean back again. We'll share more about the project in the X collection. There's a huge, real quick, and I'll move on from the topic, but there's a huge play for the Web3 community as a whole. What Dan didn't get a chance to show us yet is the command center, the 9 legionnaires and the 9 commanders and their legionnaires will have access to control, where it will send out alerts, not only about events in real life, but events in Web3 or the latest scams, as Evan's going to share with us about some of the latest that's happened in the last week, but create alerts that share with everyone and spread through the network that the X Collection's creating in order to, one, protect the community, two, also provide and give back to the community and as society as a whole, be it through a natural event that's occurring or a fake event that someone's scamming, as we've seen a lot of those in Web3 and on blockchains. So
I just want
to let's go. That's it, Ivan. I'm glad you threw that out there too, man, because I'm going to jump. Sorry, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to jump. When we first jumped into this space, we tried something that we tried to bring the Web 2 community to the Web 3 community through our first our trial on this. And what we saw is the Web 2 people are scared to enter this space. A lot of people are getting ripped off and taken advantage in rug pulls and trolls and scams. I mean, they're getting hit with links after links, and those links are trying to steal everything they got. And I want to send out alerts. I want to notify. That's why you saw in the beginning, you saw we have a troll army. We have our own bot army. Those guys are counter forces. They're units that sniff out their own kind. They're on our side. All right. So we want to protect the people that are coming to Web 2 from Web 2 to Web 3, and if that's the only thing we accomplish, that's a great feat, because I don't want my younger daughter and I don't want all these kids that are interested in Web 3, want to get into NFTs and all this, as subject to being a target like they are right now. They're extreme and vulnerable target right now. So everybody in the metaverse and Web 3, please know that I'm on your side.
Absolutely. I meant to highlight this graphic earlier. Some of the things that the metaphor gives access to include things like a museum that Dan was highlighting yesterday. Oh my God, it's earlier. That will preserve history in the making in this metaverse, as well as War Armory, Coliseum for major shows that can fit a lot of Web3 people and their avatars right in their sniper school. You ever need to improve your sniper skills? I mean, a drone stadium, driving with the vehicles that we sell, a range where you can practice your shooting, but you also have to reload the gun and you actually have to pull back on the thingamajig that reloads it. I'm not a gun expert. I do have an automatic, so don't judge me. But like stables, we saw the stables with the cute horses. So much to come.
Like you said, Dan, I'm gonna be sharing this with some of my friends, and if you're ever interested in getting on some Twitter Spaces, like, we can get you connected and get you going and sharing your story a little bit more. Whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you're ready. Ivan and I are both pretty tapped in on the Twitter Space sphere as well.
Please do, Evan. Awesome, man. I'm ready to go anywhere and everywhere. I need this project's voice to be heard. Not only for all the people that are rooting for me, but now all my holders. I want to make sure I give everything. I'm only a lieutenant in this, right? I'm not a commander. I'm a soldier on the ground right now, and I'm going to give it my all and fight. So you guys got anywhere you guys could position me that I could be heard, I'm there in a heartbeat.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Right on. Thank you. By all means, feel free to stick around, join in on the rest of the conversation of the show tonight. We have a couple more topics we wanted to hit on. You may also learn a little more about the space as we try to share as much as we know here. And without further ado, Evan, I'm really looking forward to the next topic that you wanted to share about. It's been long in the making, and I think we're coming right around the corner of that project. I do have my opinions, but I'll hold them till the end, so I'll let you jump right into it.
About that project, huh? Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Hello.
Solana Mobile. So this is something that has been a long time in the making. We've seen lots of teasers leading up to this point about the Solana saga. I wanted to share a little bit on where we kind of are with that. We're starting to see decentralized apps being approved for Solana Mobile, which is huge. In the Solana dApp store, which you'll notice is a little bit different than an app store. It's a dApp store, which is decentralized applications that involve cryptocurrency and blockchain. And now with Solana Mobile, them going outside the sphere of Apple, Android, and all of the agreements that you have to sign over when you use those devices, the Solana Mobile stack is going to be a completely standalone system where they can kind of build as they want. It's their own personal playground where they can create and experiment and build for the future of mobile technology. We're starting to see lots of dApps being approved. A few of them I am personally very excited about. And they also teased this yesterday, just a simple little screenshot of something a little exciting in my personal opinion. It looks maybe like a coin or some sort of banner or some sort of item in 3D. I'm super excited to see kind of what that announcement is tomorrow. They're starting to roll out those Solana Saga phones out to developers, as I've mentioned a few times over the last few shows. They're also sponsoring the Grizzlython, which is a huge hackathon that's going on this spring or this winter into spring. It is a global remote hackathon, so if there's any developers that end up seeing this that want to participate and look for some opportunities to gain some funding or grants, this is a great way to participate, is by going and signing up for their Grizzly Hackathon. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to share. I'll definitely have more news and update next week on what this announcement turns into. But we've also, at Sarson Funds, we've also been big fans of Helium, and we've started to see that rollout of their eSIM cards, which are basically digital SIM cards replacing the physicals, allowing you to load up minutes and data via the Helium blockchain. And we're starting to see the testnet of that and how that's going to look for users moving forward. There's been lots of talks and things going on behind the scenes. They've made some announcements at some conferences, but nothing has been made super official, super public yet. And I'm hoping that tomorrow we're going to see a little bit more of that and learn a little bit about what we're supposed to be expecting with these dApps and Solana Mobile. So I'm super excited to see how this develops, and I want to hear your FUD, Ivan. What did you have bad to say about that?
Oh no! I never said it was FUD. As I said, I have my own opinions, and my only thing I was going to say is this is the very first blockchain phone that we know of. I know there are at least one other person or project that I know that's developing something similar. And so my thought is, just like anything, like even if it's a new car model, I'm a car guy, so that's why I was getting excited when Dan was showing that those cars and options and abilities to change and customize them. Like, gimme. Anytime you have a new model that comes out, like, unless you're a developer or you gotta have the latest and greatest, and no matter what, I'm always cautious about the very first model, only because there's usually it's always a rush to market. There's a lot of bugs to fix, and always the second model is always better than the first. And that's with anything. I was a big. I'll give a quick example. I was really upset and mad that Apple made the exclusive contract with AT&T back in the day when smartphones first came out, and because I was committed to my network of Verizon, not shilling here, but just talking reality. Verizon service has always been better than AT&T. I don't care what anyone says. Even in the freaking metros in a lot of major cities, Verizon will operate better unless AT&T has paid someone to put towers inside the metro itself. But anyway, not to argue that point. I couldn't get an iPhone, so I had to settle for a Motorola Droid, not to plug brands in here, but on the Verizon network, because that was the only smartphone that even came close to anything that that Apple built. And so, well, I had the first smartphone on that network, but it was leaps and bounds when this next version came out that Motorola released. And so with that, I think similarly we play here also goes for the same with any new car model. I was only using the phone as a personal experience, sharing that between models. So that's my only thing is I'm going to wait and see. It's a lot of money to commit. I could have an Apple iPhone. What generation are we on? 14, about to hit 15 or something like that. 13, maybe about to hit 14. And it's the same price range as the Solana mobile phone, but that phone's, again, 15 generations. It's had a chance to prove itself. I don't want to rely on my mobile with that. However, having said that, that's I guess you can call it a little bit of FUD. I'm all about it. I'm all supporting it. I want to let everyone know about it. And if I have the extra money to throw it as a second phone, I'd definitely be buying a Solana phone, because why wouldn't I want to experience this new technology that I support so much and believe in just as much as a religion to not support a phone built on it. And I'm a big supporter of to plug in here the Helium network, which is also building a Solana. Solana Mobile may or may not interact with that Helium network, and so all the more reason for me.
It's 100% going to.
Well, there you go. So like I'm a big supporter of the project, but I'm not going to spend the money on the equipment for those reasons, because I'll wait for them to make it better.
100%. I'm at the person where I love being able to just be like, look, I had the first one. Like I literally bought an iPhone Gen 1 just to be able to like show my kids someday and be like, this is what I like smartphones started as. Like for some reason I'm just fascinated with that type of thing. But I 100% agree with you. Waiting for version 2 or whatever it ends up being, where they kind of learn from their mistakes, evolve the device a little bit more. Of course, it's going to be so much better and so much more like bang for your buck. I'm excited personally to get it in my hands and be able to be like, I am interacting with the blockchain like through my mobile device, not through an app on the software. It's like it's built in. And what's cool too, I want to mention for anyone that's listening, you're also going to be able to as easily interact with Ethereum and all these other different blockchains that support mobile. They're going to be making it super intuitive for other blockchains to plug into their software, which I think is honestly even more exciting.
Yeah. I'm curious, Lieutenant Dan, you gonna get that mobile as a developer? Start testing AR experiences on a blockchain phone? First blockchain mobile phone. JK, maybe you're not even listening to us, but not to put you on the spot.
I love it. But as you saw, I mean, they're rolling out dApps every day. I did want to share one other update on Rove World, which, speaking of mobile Solana apps, they decided to launch ahead of the curve and do their own iOS and Android launch. But over the last day or so, they've done an announcement about a tube giveaway, which is the Utes. It's an unopened Utes crate, basically. So if you download the app, I know you have, Ivan, I would go claim your free ticket to that sweepstakes. And you also have the opportunity to buy tickets with Rove credits if you decide to purchase them, or if you purchase one of the medallions and stake it and start accumulating credits. So that's going to be going on for a whole month. They're giving away a Ute, which is worth like, $2,500. So that's, or even more than that now. It's like $3,200, I think, if I'm doing the math right. So it's a pretty cool offering that they're doing, and it's just to get people into the app. And they're going to be doing a IRL event ticket giveaway as well that we're going to learn more about in the next week or so. So I just wanted to do a little update there as well.
Right on. I forget about that app. I downloaded it. I asked some folks like, "Hey, I need 3 signups. Help me out." And yeah, I'll have to get in there. I guess there's claiming to do. I don't need the 3 signups for the claiming. Maybe I've got my.
You might need the 3 signups. I know I have them, so I could do the claim, but I don't.
I was one of your signups. I helped.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Claim. It says it doesn't check progress. Let's see. I don't complete step 1, 2. No, I haven't generated my pass, but I'm getting a claim. I'm getting a claim button for Tube Sweepstakes.
Oh, okay. So, you get 1 for downloading the app, and you get a second claim for having the invites. That must be what it is.
Hey, I claimed. I got it.
Nice. So everybody watching, you can get a free entry into a freaking giveaway for a $3,200 NFT. Why would you not download the app and try it? I'm just saying.
Go. All this stuff for this episode, all these things to do.
I love it, huh? It's
first.
Web3 always keeps you on your toes.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Sean, Lieutenant Dan, thank you so much for being with us again. Shout out if you're still with us listening. By all means, let us know if you want to jump back in the convo. We're almost wrapping up here. I wanted to take the time to share and remind everyone something I shared last week. And that is, there we are. The Love Club DAO is live. Socials are live. Website is live. Minting to come. If you don't know, the Love Club DAO is a creation from the Web3 community for the Web3 community to spread some love, self-care, and most importantly, some mental health, and remind us about keeping balance in our life as we grind away at building the future of finance and the future of technology, and where the internet is going. And with the metaverse, don't forget to take time to yourself, step away from the computers, get outside, breathe some air, meet up with some friends in real life, as I'm going to do right after the show to balance out my metaverse and IRL. That's every Thursday night. Come join us in Fort Lauderdale. Crypto Mondays. We also have Crypto Thursdays. Depends on how you look at it. Maybe we add another trademark there. But back to Love Club DAO. Love Club DAO mint is coming up on February 14th. But don't confuse it. It's not just related to love and a significant other. It's all about spreading care and reminder to each of us to take care of one another and especially ourselves and have that mental balance. It's very important. It's very easy to burn out. And we're more valuable to the Web3 community as ourselves as strong as we can be. And so we can't speak enough to how important this balance is. And that's why the Love Club DAO exists. There's going to be many plays with the Love Club DAO, getting the community to dictate what it does and where it does and how it spreads its care and message. But it's not about all of that. The main message to get through is all about the self-care, the community care, and spreading that reminder during this time of love around Valentine's Day. So by all means, please check out Love Club DAO on Twitter, loveclubdao.com. Sign up to join the DAO. Mint is coming on January 14th. Should create a little bit of a gamified experience where you can share the Mint with friends and invite them to Mint and send them some love while you're doing it. So just shout out to the creator and the Web3 community. This is, again, for us, by us, and please enjoy. We welcome you.
I love that. I cannot wait to get minting on that and start just kind of spreading the love, man. I have some people in mind that I can't wait to send one to, so that's exciting.
Absolutely. And one thing to point out, between now and the end of the weekend, the Love Club DAO will go on multiple different blockchains just to spread the awareness a lot further, to break silos. So I know I'm helping with a little bit of the initiative there and on Wax. So by all means, check out the Love Club DAO and what they're up to.
That's really cool, man.
All right, Evan, why don't we get into some of the latest scams and rugs and let folks know what to watch out for there as we wrap up this week's show. And also remind me to get you a light so we're not staring at the Source and Funds background.
Oh, it's not picking. It doesn't pick me up when it's like that. Oh no. Okay, hold on. I can fix this. I can fix this. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, tell us what's going on out there in the caution world.
Yeah, man.
Of
So, okay, you still see me?
Nope.
Gosh dang it.
When you get close to the monitor, it reflects enough. But when you lean back, and then it's just your back.
Well, it's like part. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. So, all right. Let me share my screen now. Goodness gracious.
You're good. You're good.
Share screen. This one. All right. So I don't mean to call anyone out. This is not meant as an attack on anyone. I just want to. I'm sharing this because I think that also this person is not who he says he is. I have a strong feeling that this is some sort of person that is trying to grift the space and trying to garner attention through, social hacking, as well as just driving attention from engagement farming on Twitter. So he started this project called Traders Anonymous. This guy named Luke Trades. I don't know if you've seen this guy on Twitter over the last month or so, Ivan, but he's been making a lot of very spot on calls on the market as we were rising. He kept making calls on small names. He called Singularity Net early, and that turned out to be one of the biggest gainers in the space. I feel like we need to take a bit more time when we're researching and looking into projects and people. And I think that this is a great example of what not to invest in personally. For me, is you want to find people that are genuinely building in the space, building a following that's based on merit, instead of investing in someone that's asking for a ridiculous amount of money after being in the space publicly for 4 to 5 months. So that's something I want to just bring awareness to for people. There is a lot that should be invested in, and there's a lot of things that you need to be doing your own research and taking responsibility for your own investments. And I think that this is a great example of one that you might think is a great trend and it's a great thing to look into, but as we went a little further and we got closer to their mint, the Discord wasn't open for public discussion. They were giving whitelists out to everyone, heavily over allocating, and the mint cost was three Solana with a 5,555 supply. So it seemed very cash grabby to me, and I might be 100% wrong. I will take 100% responsibility if this guy turns out to be legit and he turns out to be very good for the space. But I think that we just need to be hyper aware of people and their backgrounds, and make sure that you do deep digging if you're investing into a singular person or a small group of people and they supposedly have a good history. Because it turns out that this guy had launched a previous project on Solana that had not minted out and did not follow up with that, just dropped the ball on it completely, and then went and decided to try and mint another project after receiving some hype on Twitter after some of his trade calls. So it's just something I want everyone to be aware of, is take your time when you're researching projects, researching founders, and you don't want to be following someone just because they're high up on the social ranking score. That does not directly correlate to value or even value to the space, in my personal opinion. So just take your time, and I'm not necessarily calling this guy a scammer or a rugger. I know that the name of this segment is the latest rug or scam, but I just want to use this as a good example for people, and it's something you can go and look at and watch it play out in real time. So I just wanted to shout that out on the space, and just to be aware of your surroundings when you're choosing things to invest in the space.
Right on. Appreciate it. Yes, a lot of things are not always what they seem. So be careful out there. Make sure you get third-party confirmations research and ask questions until somebody can confirm, yes, I feel comfortable with this, or here's why not. Until you can feel comfortable yourself, don't FOMO. FOMO is a real thing. I'm guilty of it, and I've gotten burned. And so take it from us. Don't give into FOMO. Don't trust just anyone project because they have high following. On that note, as another example, you can look at a lot of, services like TikTok have become very popular. It has created freezy community growth from that aspect, and somebody can jump into the space and overnight create a project and show you a significant amount of following. It means absolutely nothing with regards to credibility or reputation in the Web3 space. That's why actually today it's been a hot topic on Twitter Spaces that I've been a part of a couple of times. Reputation, credibility, statistics in the Web3 space, how projects are performing, how individual accounts are performing, and the actions that are taken. They're taking. Remember, everything's on the blockchain, so it's all analyzable and reportable upon. And where in our current environment with credit history and all sorts of history reports that several companies provide, not to mention names, I've been heavily involved with many of them on various levels, personal and professional. They fail with what they do. And blockchain technology provides for that to further get improved and become much better for everyone and the community as a whole. So I'm looking forward to that. It doesn't exist yet, but several projects are approaching it and diving deep down into it. And so definitely looking forward to something that's going to become a tool we can all use to protect ourselves from actors.
Absolutely, man.
After our Lucky Charms.
I love it.
Anything else on that topic, Evan, you want to share?
No, I just want to make sure that everyone, like, being hyper vigilant and taking your time with things is never gonna hurt you more than not. So it's always smart to just make sure you're double checking everything. I mean, I've witnessed several people in my little bubble over the last recent history that have fallen victim to not only physical or technical breaches of some kind, but also social engineering. People are out there trying to steal your money, so it's always important to prioritize your own safety. No one else is going to do it for you in this space.
Absolutely, as we said on last week's show, is part of getting great powers come great responsibilities. We're the holders and are banking ourselves and hold our own private keys that provide access to our assets. So with that, we have to be a lot more responsible than we're used to, and we can't rely on the bank holding it for us, which is why we are where we are. But with that, we're only going to learn. Developers are going to keep supporting the community and building more tools to protect us. And so just be vigilant, stay alert, and join communities where you can be aware of what's going on and what the latest tricks are as the scammers, they keep innovating just like we do in the space on the progressive and positive side. They innovate on their end. And so by all means, keep alert, stay educated, and ask questions. And if it sounds too good to be true, definitely ask more questions at that point. As always, we'd like to remind you, visit mint.americancryptoacademy.org. Check out our founders badge. It gives you a lifetime of utility and access to the American Crypto Academy. We are passionate about providing education. We will soon be bringing content to high schoolers near you, so stay tuned. Some alpha that's in development that we should be able to share more about next week. Yeah, thank you so much for watching and tuning into our show. As a giveaway, I think we'll repeat what we did last week and the week before. Somebody in Discord inquired about this, and they're yet to come through with the request. But Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Share this video on YouTube and get our attention and remind us about this giveaway. And we'll hook you up with a lifetime access, premium access to the American Crypto Academy, giving you a founding member badge asset to proudly display. And that also gives you 10 basic subscription memberships to give away to friends and family. So right here, giveaway. Follow us, share on Twitter, and mention us, and we'll reach out to connect and share with you. So first person to reach that, we'll tweet about it on Twitter. We're yet to hear one from the week before. So by all means, at this point, first person that shares both episodes gets 2 of those assets. So why not? Let's we'll still honor last week and this week. Make it happen.
I love it.
Evan, anything else for our viewers this evening?
I don't think so. Just excited for the developments coming here in the next couple of weeks. I'll be sure to update everybody on the Solana announcement next week, so stay tuned for that as well.
Shout out to Josh, the boss.
Oh, hey Josh, that's the Josh that comes and visits us on our space sometimes in the morning. What's up?
Yeah,
buddy?
right on. I figured. Nice for you to visit us this evening. Thank you. Reminder: we do hold Twitter Spaces every weekday morning at 9 a.m. on Twitter. US Crypto Academy is the handle on Twitter, and Smart Assets catch us every week. Evan and myself here at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry about the little bit longer episode this evening, but such honor to have Lieutenant Dan here on the show. So I wanted to give ample time there. So thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hope we see you next time.